Hey guys, how's it going? Today we'll be looking at the unboxing and an evaluation of two different, I would say mid-budget headphones. So they're not entry level, but they're not extremely high level either. They're around the $400 range, which I would consider mid-range. And these are from two brands that mainstream consumers might not be too familiar with, but are pretty well known among audiophiles. That is Audeze, which is a California company, and Focal, which is a French company. Both of these companies usually make headphones and, in Focal's case, loudspeakers as well for the audiophile market. So they're pretty well known in audiophile circles. But I'll be looking at the Audeze LCD1 and the Focal Elears today. These are two different headphones, but they compete around the same price now. The Focal Elears actually originally retailed for over $1,000, but since they came out in 2017, so right now you can find them sort of used on eBay or other websites for around $400. And the Audeze LCD ones just came out last year in late 2019. So these are pretty much brand new, and they also retail for around the same price. So the goal of this video is, first of all, I want to show you guys an evaluation between these two, because they do compete around the same price range now, the used Focals against the new Audeze. See which one's a better value for you. Should I go with an older headphone that used to be more expensive, or should I go with a new headphone around the same price? Right, that's the decision here. These are planar magnetic headphones, and these are traditional dynamic driver headphones. So they're pretty different, but since they're both from pretty well-respected companies, I thought I might take a look. And second goal is I want to show you guys my audio setup as well, which I haven't shown you guys yet. First of all, a brief overview of my headphone history. I'm a musician, so I would like to call myself I'm not like an obsessive audiophile, but I do care about audio a lot. So I do have a lot of audio equipment review on my YouTube videos. I do listen to FLACs, right? And I do have a record player as well. I even use specific microphones for recording, right? And I use mixers. So being that I'm a musician, I do kind of care about audio quality. And so my headphone history is in 2011, I got my first studio headphones, which were the Audio-Technica A900s. And those are pretty decent, especially for the price. Audio-Technicas are usually well known for their value. And I also got a pair of Audio-Technica noise canceling headphones as well, which they're okay, but they're not really outstanding. They're not like Bose or anything. Then in 2013, I switched over to the Beyerdynamic DT770 Pros, which are really comfortable headphones. They're high impedance headphones, but so they need a headphone amp to drive them, but they sounded really good and they were really comfortable. So I used those, and then in 2014, I switched over to the Bose Quiet Comfort 35s, which is because of the noise canceling mainly, because I traveled a lot. And then I also tried out the Sennheiser Momentums as well, which were my main at-home headphones for 2014 and 2015. Until 2016, I did the unboxing video of the Denon Music Master 400s, which kind of replaced my Sennheiser Momentums, and those were pretty decent as well. I used those at work before they got stolen. And after they got stolen in 2017, I switched over to the Sony MDR 1000Xs as my general purpose travel headphones, because they're closed back. And then at home, I got the Audeze EL8s, which were open back headphones, so they're basically just used for home listening. And then I upgraded the Sonys to the Sony 1000 XM3s last year, which still remain my go-to travel headphones to this day. Those are just really, in generally, good all-around headphones. So yeah, that's just my headphone history, and just telling you guys I've experienced with a lot of different headphone brands, and those are just over-ear headphones, right? I've had experience with a lot of earphones and in-ear monitors, IEMs as well, right? Like Fender and Klipsch and Etymotic, Sennheiser, Shure, Master and Dynamic. And recently I've just switched to the Astel and Kearns, so which are Jerry Harvey audios. So yeah, I've had experience with a lot of different headphones and earphones. So yeah, I've had a lot of experience with a bunch of different audio brands, so I'm not just a newcomer to the audio equipment scene. So anyways, let's do this unboxing now. Just first of all, you can see the box for the Audeze is a lot smaller than that of the Focal. So let's do the Audeze first. This is the Audeze LCD1s, which just came out late last year, like I said, in late 2019. Handcrafted in California, USA, of course. And Audeze was originally well known for their planar magnetic headphones. So that's how they made a name for themselves in the audiophile world. And they kind of got well known with the LCD2s, which are, despite the name, the LCD1s, these ones at least, are newer than the LCD2s, but because they had originally different LCD1s, which are kind of like prototypes, and then the LCD2s were the ones that really became a hit. And then I guess Audeze, for some reason or other, they decided to overwrite their history a little bit by naming these the LCD1s, which is actually a newer model than their LCD2s, so it's kind of confusing. All right, that was hard to get off. All right, so anyways, this is the Audeze. Open it up. Again, $400 headphones, brand new. We have a little booklet here. Thank you for purchasing the LCD1, which I believe these ones are actually way more compact. They're probably one of their most compact open back over ear headphones. So it's quite an improvement over their older headphones, because usually planar magnetic headphones are known for being very heavy and very bulky, and the LCD ones are trying to change that a bit. So this is a carrying case for the LCD one. Again, pretty small carrying case considering that these are planar magnetic over ear headphones, right? And yep, you get a 3.5 millimeter, or actually, yeah, you get 3.5 millimeter with a 1/4 inch adapter. And these are the inputs for the headphones. And these are the headphones, which actually fold up, which is a nice surprise because I believe these are the first planar magnetic headphones I've seen fold up. Of course, their main competitors are probably Mi's, and they make really high-end planar dynamic headphones, and Hi-Fi Man. But I don't think Hi-Fi Man makes any headphones that fold up like this. So the design is pretty nice, and just telling you guys, these are really light. Like, I feel like these are about as light as my Sony 1000 XM3s, which is not a small feat considering that the Sony 1000 XM3s they're meant to be portable headphones, right? They're noise cancelers. So the fact that Audeze made these planar magnetic headphones, made them really portable, that's really something, right? And these are open back, of course, so they're meant for home listening. If you're going to be using them on the road, just know that these are going to leak sound. So if you are using them outside, just be sure you're in a nice quiet area so you don't disturb people. But mostly people use open back headphones at home, which is how I'll be using them as well. Just for comparison, this box and these headphones, how they compare to the Audeze EL8s. You can see how much bigger my EL8s are. So I still have the EL8s. You can see the size difference. These were Audeze's previous lower end planar magnetic headphones, so you can see how big they are and compare the size to the LCD ones, right? And from what I've heard from the reviews, the LCD ones actually sound better than the EL8s despite the size difference. So, and it's way more portable as well, so I think they're just almost strictly better than the EL8s, right? So the EL8s are nice and they got this nice wood veneer and stuff. But yeah, heavy, and you can just tell it's much bigger. LCD ones, smaller, more portable, right? Folds up. The L8 does not fold up. So really no comparison. If these sound better, and I'm going to test these, if these sound better than the EL8s, then there's just no reason to get the EL8s, right? So yeah, that's the Audeze LCD ones. So nothing too much in the box. Now let's look at the Focals. So the Focals, definitely, there's got to be something going on with the box here because it's a lot bigger than the Audeze box, right? So Focal, French company, right? Well known for their loudspeakers. The Elears originally retailed for over $1,000 US, and they have been discounted now because they're several years old. But I'm still going to test them out against the Audeze because we're going to look at some old, like we're trying to figure out what's the better deal for people here. Do you want to get a pair of discounted older headphones, or do you want to get some newer headphones at the brand new price, right? Around the same price range, I would say. But one's brand new, just came out, and then one is an older model but discounted. So yeah, these headphones, you can just tell they're studio headphones. They're pretty massive. So yeah, the size difference, there's no comparison. Like the focals are a lot bigger and heavier than the LCD ones. Like these ones, like I said, pretty light and portable. You can actually, it's about the same weight as my Sony's. So bring my Sony 1000 XM3s into the picture. Yeah, I would say they're almost about the same weight, which is very impressive again for the Audeze because they shrunk that planar magnetic technology into something just as portable as a company usually making, portable consumer electronics like Sony, right? Whereas Audeze is usually known for audiophile home electronics, open back headphones. So it's pretty impressive. Yeah, I would say they're about as light as the Sony's. So that's pretty impressive of Audeze to shrink it to that size. The Focal Elears definitely would not be wearing these outside at all. First of all, they're open back as well. Of course, they're dynamic driver, not planar magnetic, but just they're massive and you can't fold them up, and they're pretty heavy as well. So in terms of the portability, there's no contest. The LCD1's a lot more portable than the Focal Elears. But we'll be testing the sound quality as well, right? Because that's what's important as well, especially if you're going to be using both of these in home, then you want to know which one sounds better for the same price point, right? And these come with heavy duty cables here. I mean, yeah, compared to the cables I got for the Audeze, like look how long this cable is. And that kind of concerns me a little bit because for cables, for analog cables at least, the length affects the capacitance, and generally shorter cables will sound a bit better, and because they will carry more electrical energy basically. So I mean, generally I think shorter cables will sound a little bit better than longer cables because of the capacitance difference. But yeah, these are massive. They're just really long cables, and I wish that Focal could have made these a little bit shorter, but yeah, what can you do? Anyways, yeah, that's the Focal Elears, do they come with a carrying case for this? There is no carrying case. So yeah, you do get a manual right here in the middle. Oops. Yeah, you get a manual for the focals in the middle here. Yeah, Focal, the spirit of sound. But all right. But yeah, these are the Focal Elears. You can tell they're and there's no carrying case for them. So there's definitely meant to be used at home. Just a gigantic pair of studio headphones. That's what it looks like. Whereas the Audeze definitely looks more portable and consumer friendly, I would say. This one, even though they're planar magnetic headphones, they're from an audiophile company. They definitely look like the most consumer friendly over-ear headphones I've seen from Audeze yet. The Focals, they don't, I mean, you just know they're meant for audiophiles when you look at it. And you can't get more audiophile than something that looks like this, right? It's just, yeah, massive headphones, gigantic long cables, yeah. Anyways, now let's do the listening comparison, and I can also show you guys my audio equipment setup as well. So I used to have a Denon Music Maniacs MM400s. Someone stole those at my workplace, so now I replaced them with this pair of Audeze EL8s, and this is mainly used as my studio monitors when I'm recording stuff through my Focusrite. Basically doing studio work, I'm recording audio and stuff. But I also use this for listening, of course, and connected to my Creative E5s, which I still have as a headphone amp. And I just plug these in. It sounds really good. These are planar magnetic headphones. If you don't know what those are, basically it's a different construction than normal headphones. Normal headphones use a small voice coil, a small dynamic coil inside. They're called dynamic headphones. These are a small coil inside. It's basically the same as a small speaker, right? But these pair of headphones use, I believe, a thin piece of they use a thin material inside the headphones which vibrates, and there's magnets around it which help energize it and stuff. You can look it up on Google or Wikipedia how planar magnetic headphones work, but basically they work in a different way than normal dynamic headphones. But the sound, these ones are open air headphones, which means that the sound leaks out. That means that this is not a set of portable headphones. I would not use this outside. I mostly use this at home. But the advantage of having open airs is that the sound stage sounds a lot bigger. And by sound stage, I mean when you put these headphones on, they're not meant to be closed, so you don't exactly isolate yourself, but you feel when you're playing music through these headphones, you feel you're in the sound is coming from around you, is how I would describe it. Whereas if you have closed headphones like the Sonys, for example, right? The Sonys are closed headphones, then it's just compressed, to that area when you hear the music. But when you hear music through an open air headphones, it sounds like it's actually coming from around you, from outside the headphones, and that's the advantage of that. I don't know any better way to describe it, but once you put a pair of open air headphones on, you will understand the difference. And yeah, these are really, really cool headphones. I got these for $375. I believe they are $350 now. They used to be $700 back when they were first released, I think. So yeah, pretty good pair of headphones. The Audeze EL8s planar magnetic headphones. That's what I use for studio monitoring. All right, guys. So this is my audio equipment setup. I have a Fluance RT85 turntable going into a Cambridge Audio Solo phono preamp, which is hooked up to a Schiit Valley 2 tube headphone amp, and that's connected to the headphones that we'll be testing today. And today we'll be listening to the classic album, in my opinion, the greatest album of all time, and my all-time favorite album, Abbey Road by the Beatles, which is a classic. So just going over some of the equipment that I have here. This is the Fluance RT85. This is a Canadian audio company. In my opinion, this is one of the best value turntables that you can get on the market today. For $500, you get an acrylic platter, and you get an Ortophone 2M blue cartridge, which by itself retails for around $200, I believe. It even comes with these nice white gloves too, to handle your records. So very nice turntable, and we can check out the inputs on the back as well, so you guys can see the whole turntable. We have the audio output, which I'm using 2 pairs of AudioQuest Evergreen cables right here. Then it comes with a ground cable, so I'm using that, and I have auto stop turned on, and this is a DC adapter right here. So very, very nice, good value turntable. In my opinion, one of the best values on the market. Then it's going into the Cambridge Audio Solo phono preamp and the Schiit Valley 2 tube headphone amp. This is the volume adjuster right here, and I'm just using the stock tubes that they gave me. So didn't swap any of those out. We can take a look at the inputs from the back as well. So for the Cambridge Audio Solo, they actually make a duo version as well for moving coil cartridges, but since the Ortophone Blue is a moving magnet cartridge, I feel like I didn't need to get the duo. So this comes in with the output, as I have the AudioQuest Evergreens again, then set the balance to 0. This is the connection to the turntable, moving magnet only, of course. The duo version has a moving coil as well, and then the ground is hooked up to here as well. And this is connected, the output is connected to the headphone amplifier, the Schiit Valley 2 tube headphone amplifier. This is the input. You can also output it to something else. I might hook up an additional speaker or something to it if I want to test that out. I can hook it up to a powered speaker. This is for high or low impedance headphones. Right now I have it set to low because neither the Focals or the Audis are high impedance. And this is the power button or power switch right here. And these all require a lot of power, so they're not going to be running on any of your usual USB-C stuff. And yeah, that's the equipment setup we'll be doing. So first, I'm going to try testing out the Abbey Road album with the Audeze EL8s, just to have a reference point, since I've been using the Audeze EL8s for a few years now, so I already have an idea what the sound signature is like. And they've already been burned in and stuff. I don't know if I really need to burn in these headphones, but first I'll be testing using the Audeze EL8s, then I'll be testing using the Audeze LCD1s for a direct comparison to the EL8s, and then I'll be finishing off with the Focal Elears. Alright guys, so these are the Audeze EL8s. These were my previous studio headphones. So one thing to note is that they are a little bit heavy, and the connectors are proprietary connectors, so they're not 3.5mm connectors. But they do give you a pair of balanced connectors in the box as well. So there's the 2.5mm balanced cable, but I think they did that because these are proprietary connectors. So for the normal connectors, I think it'll be easier to find a balanced connector for it. But let's try first with the EL8, so I have a reference to compare it to, since these are my old studio headphones. So I'm gonna put on the gloves, and we're gonna put the record on, start playing it, and evaluating it. Alright. Okay, we're ready now. Let's turn on the phono preamp and the headphone amp. Alright, so we're going to wait a bit for the tubes to warm up. Alright, and then got to be careful with the vinyl. Okay. Alright, so for the stylus, we got to remove the stylus guard and set the skate speed and the counterweight. That's all been set. The tracking speed has been set. It's, yep, looks good. We're going to turn it to 33 1/3 RPM. That's what this record is. If we want 45 RPM, we have an adapter for that. Tone arm. Set the headphone amp a little bit higher. I mean, yeah, the EL8 is a good reference, I think, because I already know the sound signature of this headphone, and not bad. I mean, it's basically more or less what I expect from this headphone. Okay, so that was the EL8s, so I'm now gonna put in the LCD1s and see how they compare. So these are the LCD1s. Definitely the ear cups are smaller than the EL8s. Okay, I'm gonna start from the beginning again, so we have the good comparison. The sound definitely sounds more livelier than the EL8, I'll tell you that. Yeah, I'd say, like, especially for this size, given how portable the LCD1 is, I'm actually quite shocked the amount of openness and power that it has. Yeah, like the soundstage, I would say is just as wide as the EL8 and maybe even wider, even though it's smaller. Like I think the technology definitely improved. Like the EL8s, you know, physically they're much larger than the LCD1s, but the LCD1s feel like they have more presence, even though they're smaller somehow. So I definitely think that, yeah, I definitely think that the LCD1s, it definitely pops out. When you hear music on it, it definitely pops out a little bit more than on the EL8s. Whereas the EL8s seem, I don't know, more or less, to me it's very, very familiar, but the LCD1s just have that pop. Yeah, and I know it's very hard to describe audio, especially through headphones, right, in a video review, but I do think that the LCD1s pop out more than the EL8s, for sure. Yeah, Definitely feels more in your face than the EL8s. Alright, so now we're going to try the focals. Right, so see how they compare to the EL8s and the LCD1s. Again, massively long cable here. Alright. Out this way. Okay, now let's start from the beginning again and do the same comparison with the same song. The bass is pretty good. I think maybe due to the fact that these are bigger headphones, the bass seems like it's more present than the LCD ones. Okay, to my ears, it feels like the LCD ones, which are definitely superior to the L8s, I think. It's more in your face, but it's kind of got more of a mid-rangey sound, whereas the Focals, they have more bass, I feel. I mean, it's not like the mid-range is too diminished, but it feels like the bass has more presence than on the LCD ones. And maybe that makes sense because these are bigger headphones and originally more expensive as well, but yeah. Okay, so the Focal Elears are pretty good. So the main comparison, I guess, would be between the LCD ones and the Focal Elears. And to my ears, I feel like the LCD ones are a great pair of consumer-focused headphones. And I know that Audis they're an audiophile brand, they're focused towards audiophiles and stuff, but that's for their LCD, 2, LCD-X, they're higher-end headphones. For this one, I mean, the fact that you can fold them up and stuff, and their size, their portability, it seems to me like Audis is aiming for the consumer crowd. So I feel like when I listen to the LCD ones, it has a very consumer-focused sound. Like it's almost like the Sonys. Like it emphasizes the mid-range a lot, which is not a bad thing. I mean, which makes it good for common pop tracks and generally vocals sound really good on this. And it's planar magnetic, right? And for the price, it's pretty good. I would say for consumer headphones, these are pretty good. But as a pair of home listening headphones, I think the Focal Elears are better. Like, I know the size is this is definitely meant for home listening, but yeah, I definitely feel like there's more of a bass presence. There's more just of a presence. It feels like it has a little bit of more in each frequency, right? And I know it's hard to explain this because sound is so subjective, but to me, I feel like the Focal Elears have a little bit more in every frequency, whereas the LCD ones feel very, very much like it is a pair of portable headphones, right? And it's a very good pair of portable headphones, but like it's open back, so like how much you're going to be wearing it in public, I'm not so sure because the sound will leak out. So again, if you're looking for portable headphones, you'd probably want a pair of closed backs. Yeah, I feel like these are a really good pair of headphones for the size. I think given the portability of the size, these are probably the best headphones I've listened to. But again, I'm not sure how much use you're going to get out of it outside, because if it's meant for portability, then you're going to want closed back, because open back, you're going to disturb other people, right? So I don't know how useful that is. Whereas with the Focal Elears, these are definitely meant for home use, right? You're not going to bring these outside, but for home use, they're better than the LCD ones, I think, right? For home use. So I don't know. I think for audiophiles, we'd probably pick the Focal Elears over the LCD ones, but the same price point, I think I'd rather get the Elears, even though they're an older headphone. They originally retailed for much more though. So yeah, to me the Focals feel like they have a much wider sound stage, better instrument separation. I can hear the detail better on each instrument when I listen to the record, and just a little bit more presence on the treble and the bass and like every frequency. So I just think, yeah, the Focal Elears are definitely better than the LCD ones, at least to my ears, in most areas that would benefit audiophiles, I think. And in terms of comfort, it's not bad. It's like, yes, the Elears are heavier, but they're not too uncomfortable. LCD ones, I feel like the ear cups are too small. The ear cups are a little bit too small for me. Even the Audeze EL8s have, yeah, the EL8s definitely have bigger ear cups and thus are a little bit more comfortable, but it's heavier. And in sound quality, I feel like the LCD one is definitely superior to the EL8s. But the ear cups are a little bit small on this, and it just feels like it's a little bit compromised because of its size and the fact that it's meant for portability, I guess. This one's planar magnetic, this one's dynamic, right? But the technology doesn't, it's not the end all be all, it's the way it's implemented, right? So obviously there's different tiers of planar magnetic. You can get into the Hi-Fi Man, the Hi-Fi Man Susvanas, the really high-end planar magnetics, and even the Audis, you can get into the higher end as well with these. You know, the Mr. Speakers, or with the Mies Audio, you can get really high-end with the planar magnetics. But these are the entry-level planar magnetics, which I feel is not really going to give you as good of an experience as like if you're using planar magnetics, you might as well go all the way and use it for home listening, right? But if you're using it for home listening, then you should invest in a better pair than these ones, because these are more meant for portable listening. So that's how I feel, right? It's like planar magnetics are really good on the high end once you get up there into the really expensive headphones. But if you're going like for the consumerish low end planar magnetics, it doesn't really have the same punch. Like it's not really representative of that sound as much as going to the high end. And so yeah, at that price range, I think, yeah, might as well just get a pair of used Focals. I think it's better. So anyways, all right, so my final evaluation of these three headphones, the EL8s, definitely sound-wise, I think they're the weakest of the bunch, and it's not very well built either. Like already, you know, some parts have already started to fall off from the headband. They are also the highest impedance out of the three, and fairly heavy. So these were formerly the cheapest over-ear open backs among Audeze's offerings, but now it's been superseded by the LCD1s, which I think are sound-wise definitely better than the EL8s. It's got a very poppy, consumer focus oriented sound, which I think will please, you know, the general public. However, I don't think they're good for audiophiles, and I question the value of having a pair of open back planar magnetic portable headphones, right? Like if you're going to be wearing them in public, then you have to do it in a very quiet area because they're open backs, and they also feel like, even though they're light and portable, they also feel a little bit cheap, in my opinion. Like even, I know the Audis and the Focals are heavier, but they feel like more substantial. Like these almost feel like too light and plasticky, in my opinion. Definitely they're really good for the price and for the form factor. It's, you know, very small, easily the most portable one out of all these, and they can fold up like this. But again, I question how useful that is being open backs. And if you're an audiophile, you can probably get something better for home listening at this price point, right? And you're probably not going to be listening to something, you know, outside if you're going for planar magnetics. So that's just my opinion on the LCD ones. I think these are good headphones, but I just question who the target market for this is and how useful it would be. For general consumers, like they wouldn't want to wear this outside because it leaks sound. And for audiophiles, like you can probably do better for home listening. So I question who these are for. And then the Focal Elears. Again, you can get them for the same price point as the LCD ones, discounted, since these are a few years old. I think these are definitely the most audiophile friendly out of these headphones. And one other thing about the LCD ones is these are probably the easiest to drive. You can easily drive them with an iPhone or an Android phone. That's just underscoring the fact that this was basically made for portability in mind. And then this one, the Focal Elears are also not very hard to drive either. Like I can just set my headphone amp to the same level as the LCD ones, and you can also drive these and get roughly the same volume. It's the EL8s that were actually the hardest to drive. So the Focals, yeah, you still need a headphone amp, but it's not like super hard to drive or anything. I definitely think that the sound stage, the frequency response of the Focal Elears are the best. They just give you like more treble, more bass, everything. So I think these are the most audiophile friendly and the best for home listening out of the three. But they're also the biggest and the heaviest, I think. But not to say that they're not uncomfortable either. I think the amount of cushioning that you get on these pads, the size of these pads, I think are pretty good. Whereas the LCD ones, they're just too small. The ear cuffs are too small again. A little bit compromising on the portability here. There's too many compromises there for the portability. So anyways, my pick is the Focal Elear for the audiophiles. I don't know who the LCD one is for. I don't know who the target market for this one is for. I think if you're a general consumer, you'd probably still want to get the Sony 1000X and 3s. EL8s have pretty much been superseded. So I also want to mention that the Focals are definitely the best built out of the three as well. I mean, and they should be, because originally these were the most expensive. These were $1,000, but definitely the most well built out of the three, and in my opinion, the best sounding out of the three as well. So get the Focal Elears at a discount. I think if you're an audiophile, it's a pretty good value for that price. Anyways, that's my verdict, and I know that sound is very subjective, but like, I just tested them out, and according to my ear, as a musician, I prefer the Focals the most out of these. And I think out of the price points, you can probably get the EL8s like for $200 probably. Like, but they're also like, you know, they've been superseded by the LCD ones in pretty much every way. So these ones are $400 new, and then these are $400 at a discount. But I'd probably go for this for home listening. So anyways, yeah, that's it. You can take my opinion with a grain of salt if you want, given how subjective people's listening preferences are. But it's my opinion, and yeah, that's the Focal is my preference, and that's it. Thanks for watching.